Welcome to Clan Television. I am Ifi and I'm bringing to you an interactive section with Reverend Friday Okonkwo, who has been a source of great inspiration spiritually, physically, and financially to thousands of people. He loves doing humanitarian job, and we wish he would one day have a foundation like Tony Elumelu Foundation, where skills, talents, and entrepreneurs will be considered as top priorities, as well as being assisted by the government. We're saying this because we've seen his level of commitment in doing humanitarian job. At the moment, let's hear from the formidable priest.
It's nice to meet you, Reverend.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. Now, I cannot say we are far from the truth,
okay.
Because every year we do have Easter celebration, especially for Christians all over the world. What impact has this Easter celebration in the life of Christians?
Okay. Easter celebration is a call festival in the Christendom, and that is the major anchor, the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And from all implication and looking at the scriptures, the resurrection power is to give new life. So anything about new life you can trace in the life of any child of God is as a result of this resurrection power experience. It is the resurrection power experience inside of a Christian that brings transformation and reformation. And that has been a kind of agent in society transformation. Some of the good things we are seeing in society today, most of them are being done by Christians whose lives have been transformed by the resurrection power. When we talk about holiness and living life of righteousness, it's one of the implications of the resurrection. So it has really affected human lives, and it has affected the society in many ways. So Christianity is all about the hope, the resurrection, the hope of resurrection. And that hope of resurrection, or the resurrection, the power that made Jesus to resurrect from the dead, is what is keeping the Christian faith quite unique in the society.
But it seems that we in this part of the world are said to be predominantly Christians.
Of course.
But looking at things happening in the society, it often looks as if the reverse is the case.
Okay.
What solution do you think the church need to put in place in order to make everyone who is in this part of the world?
Okay, the church has been in serious contest. Light and darkness has been in serious contest. They've been fighting each other. There's been a contention. It has been there even before the arrival of Christianity. Christianity came when darkness was all over the place. And Christianity has been trying to make the desired impact. And the devil on his own part, with his agents, are really working. They've been there even before now. So they want to claim their ground. And Christians are working to claim their ground. And the devil is seriously undermining the work and activities of Christians. And that is what makes Christians. Christians are called to fight against Satan, sin, and the world, and the power of darkness. So that is the contention you are seeing. The devil is a character that doesn't let go of his captives. Anybody that will expect the devil to vacate this world and let everywhere be Christians only, that person is making a mistake. So that is the contention you are seeing. And that does not mean that Christianity is not making any impact in the society. We're in a very serious battle, and the light is seriously working against darkness. When this battle ceases, it then means life has come to an end. As long as life exists, this battle between light and darkness will continue to be there. And God allowed them to be there. It is in this battlefield that God raises his generals. It is in the battlefield he raises his faithful ones. It is in the battlefield he makes name for himself. It is in the battlefield he proves to the devil that he is the Almighty. That is why he allowed the contention and the battle going on. The devil is seriously undermining Christian activities, trying to paint Christians, trying to broadcast where Christians are not getting it right, and all the rest of them. They are part of the battle. So anybody who knows the nature of the battle is not moved by what people are saying or the way it seems as if Christianity is not making impact or darkness is trying to overshadow the light. That's not the truth.
Okay. On those that are already Christians.
Okay.
Your charge.
Okay. As we read this morning in Romans chapter 8, verse 11, it says, if the spirit of he that raised Jesus from the dead is living in us, the same spirit will quicken our mortal body. That's a renewal, that's a transformation. So Christians are encouraged to use this opportunity to ask for more grace, to renew their strength, to renew their faith in the resurrected Lord. And the power that raised Jesus from the dead, we must continue to explore that power. It's a power that the devil and his agents cannot contend with. So Christians are encouraged to be steadfast, encouraged to be faithful, encouraged to keep on moving. This is a battle. And nobody gets the crown until you get to where you are going. As long as Christ is not yet here for his second coming, we must continue fighting. So Christians should keep on pressing forward. Utilizing this opportunity, we reactivate the power of resurrection in us, and that is what keeps us moving. So I encourage them in the midst of all odds to stand for the Lord. Thank you. You're welcome.
I'll be taking you now on national issues.
It's okay, it's no problem.
Recently,
the
President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, General Muhammadu Buhari, have just signed into law the new national minimum wage, 30,000. In your own view, do you think the federal government has actually taken a step in the right direction?
Of course. The good thing there is that there is a kind of increment. 30,000, considering the current economic situation, is nothing. But at least it's better than 18,000. From that angle, we say they've done fine. But when we look at it, the challenge or the problem is there. Are they going to pay 18,000? That 30,000? Most of the states cannot afford paying 18,000. Are they going to pay 30,000? But it all borders on being faithful and sincere in our dealings. If the state government discovers that they cannot pay, in fact, once it is signed into the law, they should pay. But that must be a challenge. A state that cannot pay 18,000 definitely will not pay 30,000. But in that actual sense, we say that they tried. It's a move in the right direction. 18,000 to 30,000 is almost 50%, almost. So they've done well.
Okay. Do you think it will reduce the mind of criminality in civil service?
Actually, it will not. That thing is a different thing. Somebody who is in the civil service, like somebody is a thief, is it giving him 30,000 that will make him to stop being a thief? Actually, it will not. The government has to improve the lots of the people by putting things in place. If there is power, the amount of money people spend in fuel and diesel will be able to cushion the effect. At least it makes them to save the 30,000. If house problems are tackled, it helps them to save the 30,000. But whereby you pay somebody 30,000 and in a month he's paying 20,000 house rent, NEPA bill 5,000, what remains? So they still have to do more. That is where the matter lies.
And the federal government said they had a tripartite committee, that is the federal, the state, and the private sectors.
Okay.
And that both agencies have agreed to pay the national minimum wage.
Okay.
In Anambra State, where you are now, and according to the policy, it said any firm that has between 25 workers and above are mandated to pay the national minimum wage. In your own view, do you think private investors can pay according to federal government directive?
Once it is a directive, they have to queue in. If they can't pay, they back off. It's a directive from the federal government. and you have a link with them, once you have agreed and it is signed into law, you pay. In the actual sense, it is not going to be easy for them. Then they have to comply. There's no two ways about that, because it has been signed into law and they are part of the system. And once you are a part of the system, the rules of the game are not changed at the middle of the game. So that is it, from my own view.
And you that is an employer,
Okay.
Are you willing to pay the minimum wage?
Now, if I have it, I'll pay. If I don't have it, I can't pay. It's better you say I'm paying 15,000 at the end of the month. You give that person 15,000 than saying I will pay 30,000 and you will not be able to afford it. That is where the problem lies. So there's no way you can compare a private sector with the government. That is another thing altogether. The government, they have many ways and sources of raising income. Somebody who is trying to manage his life in one little corner, and the government is not even helping the person, how do you expect him to measure up with the government? It may not be possible. And so that is how it goes. If it is not within my power to pay, there's no way I can pay.
And to our youths who are looking up to this very particular minimum wage as nothing, what is your charge?
Are they talking about being nothing when they have not even gotten the job? The issue of unemployment is a major issue. Somebody who has no job should not be talking about minimum wage. So the problem and the challenge is having a job. The minimum wage of a thing is for somebody who is working. So if somebody is not working, he should not be talking about minimum wage. So he should first of all try to get something doing, create employment for himself if the government doesn't give him opportunity to do that. But if he has opportunity with government, let him be managing with it minimum wage until his level gets to a point. He will not enjoy. You can start home and say minimum wage is small when you are not even entitled to it. So they have to start gaining employment first, either by the government or for themselves, before you start talking about minimum wage. Anybody who is unemployed and is arguing about minimum wage, that person is missing his direction.
And do you think the church has a role to play in making sure that our youths have something doing?
Of course. First of all, we encourage them, redirect their mind. It's all about the mind. The church has the duty of redirecting their mind. The church has the duty of creating employment in its little capacity. The church has the duty of empowering youths, depending on the resources available on the church. So when we do these little things, above all things, encouraging them. The orientation is what we lack in this nation. People need to be given right orientation. And when you give a man the right orientation and make the person to think positively, the person must come out with something positive. So the word of God and the messages, the seminars and all the rest of them that have been organized for youth is to get them on the right track. And once they have it here, they make it. But once it's not well informed, the person finds it difficult to find his feet in a society like this. So the church has great role to play, both in teaching, in preaching, and also giving the little incentives it can afford at any point in time.
Okay. We understand the Notre Dame Catholic Church in France, one of the oldest Catholic church in France, got burnt, and there were donations from influential people around the world and in Africa too.
Yeah.
But there was a church collapse in South Africa, and I think somewhere in Burundi, a very heavy flood that almost got the entire state running away.
Okay.
But we did not see Africans making donation openly the way we have seen when it affects the Western world. What do you think is the cause of this very problem?
Anyway, my own little understanding is all about interest. Somebody makes investment, somebody gives donation where he finds interest. I wouldn't know their reasons, but I believe if somebody wants to identify with a church in France and doesn't want to identify with church in Sudan, probably the person may be gaining something from France, or the person may be targeting something from France, and the person may feel that doing that will make him gain one thing or the other. I say it's a matter of interest. So I wouldn't know the reason why they've decided to do it that way. So if somebody loves Africa and loves African churches, he will invest there. If somebody feels that where he will gain more recognition when he gives is in the Church of France, that person goes there. So any political undertone attached to it, I don't think I can talk about it. But all I know that it's a matter of interest. If, for instance, some churches in Nigeria used to receive aids from those churches, and if the church is having problem, it is good for them to reciprocate. So that is why I'm saying it depends on interest. So that's all I know about the issue.
And you don't sense it to be a sign of neo-colonialism?
Those who are helping them, were they forced to do that? That's the question. If they were forced to do that, we were talking about neo-colonialism. But if somebody is not forced to do that, I wouldn't know. So maybe I strongly believe there is something they are gaining from them. That is why they identify with them. Life is all about you invest where you feel you have a dividend. That is the way I'm seeing it. So if they had forced them to do that, you'll be talking about neo-colonialism. But if they willingly on their own, like this my church now, decides to identify with Church of England, probably I have an interest there. There is something I want to, maybe I want to make a name for myself, that I'm giving donation to Church of England from Obosi. I want to make a news for people that, this church is going to this, maybe that is my aim. So that is the way I see the whole game.
Thank you.
So that's it.